If I was any fatter, and if this was any longer, you could say this is Peter Jackson's making of the SDH handles. Now it is time to make an SDH 2 handle. Now it's time to introduce you to the SDH 2 handle. This is an SDH 2 handle made by Co. Just like you have different size shoes, you have different size SDH handles. And this is an SDH 2. With this handle, you can make a 25-pound dumbbell. Considering the fact if you have two, normally you buy two of them when you make a pair of dumbbells. With a pair of these SDH 2s, you can make a pair of 25-pound dumbbells. You can make a pair of 30-pound dumbbells. You can make a pair of 35-pound dumbbells, and you can make a pair of 40-pound dumbbells. And tonight I'll be making a 35-pound dumbbell. Because I'm not giving you a close-up of any of the items, I'm going to describe to you this bolt. This bolt here is 2 inches long. It is about the same size of nut you would find in your car wheel holding your hubcap on, or your wheel part on, you know. It's very durable too. It's airplane grade 2 quality metal. That's what Co. says. It's very durable. The bolt is approximately $5, and it's worth every penny. Now, on to making the 35-pound dumbbell. Here's what you'll need. A 10-pound plate, and a 7.5-pound plate. I bet you didn't know they made these, but they actually do. Yes. First off, stand up the Co. dumbbell. Now I put the 10-pound plate on. Hold her steady there. Now I put the 7.5-pound plate on. And if you've really cleaned off the grease good, you should hear the metal rubbing together. You should hear a little noise. Like a metal scraping sound. Almost a metal scraping sound. Not exactly a screeching, but you can hear the metal. Let me put the microphone. It's screeching a little, you can hear. That's metal rubbing against metal there. And that's a sign you've done a good job. Because when you get all the lubricant off, you have a better, tighter fit. Turn it over. It doesn't need to be super tight. I suppose if you wanted to, you could have a friend stand on one side with an Allen key, and your other friend, you could stand on the other end on an Allen key, and you could do the hop tightening. I call it hop tightening because you both do a little hop, you know. This isn't the best quality 7.5-pound plate, but it'll do for what we need to do. They say that you should only use Co. plates on here, but to tell you the truth, an Co. plate is $22 for a 10-pound plate, plus shipping and handling, which is probably about $30, plus brokerage fees when it gets there, which is probably $20 more. So you're looking at approximately $60. $60 for one 10-pound plate from Co. Or that's it is, of course, if you don't live in California where the Co. plant is, you know. Near a place. I mean, it'd be great if I lived near a place that sold Co. plates. I would collect them. A lot of people say, if you wanted to start your own home gym, what is a great reference point? You need a reference point. And do you know what a great reference point is? A man's garage. You look in any man's garage, and what are you going to find? You're going to find thousands of dollars worth of tools. Is the guy a millionaire? No. How did he buy them? Probably bought them one piece at a time. That's how you build your own home gym. One piece at a time. You start from there. Just like I did. I didn't spend thousands or hundreds of dollars at once. I built this slowly. And you can too. Here is the 35-pound dumbbell. Enjoy. I will. Thank you. Thing I forgot to mention that I should mention before you start assembling the 10-pound plates is if you're not using Avonco plates, what you do is what I do to make sure you have a good fit. You know, you inspect the 10-pound plate. Basically, what you do is you look within the hole, as I'm doing. Can you see me? Can you see my eye here? And what you do is if you see any paint inside the hole, you take a file, a small file, preferably a little triangle file, like I have here, or a little square, it is actually, or triangle, and you file in any paint pieces, any paint globules. Because if you have a little paint globule or a piece of metal sticking up, what can happen is it can damage your handle, and you don't want to do that. Or it could prevent your handle from fitting on there properly. You know, or it could just cut you. You know, a little paint piece. I mean, I got a little cut right there on my ring finger there from a paint globule, and you don't want to do that. So you file down any paint you see on a 10-pound dumbbell, or you file down any paint on a plate that you're using on your SDH handle, because it's a permanent. What you're making is a permanent handle, you know. And if cost is an issue, what you do is if you're working out your arms, for example, and what you do is you work out with 45 pounds, you buy an SDH 3 handle and you make a 45-pound dumbbell. I mean, other companies might say use Loctite on it, but then you'll never be able to take the handle apart. You know, it'll be kind of glued together basically, but what you've got is a portable handle. You can take the whole SDH handle apart if you don't use Loctite, and you can put the plates in a box, put the handles in a box, move it to a new place. You know, I mean, if you're moving around a lot, you can just move your weights too. You know, you can just disassemble them and then you can assemble them once you move them to your new place. You know, so there's a level of portability if you don't use Loctite. For example, as I was saying, what you can do is if cost is an issue, you don't have to make a full set of pairs of SDH 3s. What you do is if you're curling 45 pounds, you get stronger. You basically retire the 45-pound dumbbell, and then you make a 55-pound dumbbell, you know, and then once you're stronger, you make a 60-pound dumbbell. Just like me, I was using a 60-pound dumbbell. No, I was using a 65-pound dumbbell for a while with an SDH 4. I didn't run out and buy more weights and another SDH handle. I just took the weights off and made a stronger SDH. I made a stronger dumbbell, you know, heavier dumbbell. And that's what I did. So anyway, that's one piece of information I wanted to share with you about how to use SDH handles. You know, hopefully you've learned enough tonight, and hopefully you'll learn how to make your own SDH handles. And hopefully I've described everything in good detail to you. Yes. So I'd like to say have a good evening, and hope you buy some SDH handles. Why? Why do I use them? I'll tell you a story about why I use them. One time I was working out and I had these pinch collars on the end of a handle. what you basically do is you pinch the end, then you put it on the end of your collar. And I had made two 45-pound collars. I made two 45-pound dumbbells, and I was working on my shoulders with two 45-pound dumbbells, like so. And I went down, and the V, the collar sticks up like that, and it got caught on my shirt. And here I am struggling with a 45-pound dumbbell, and I could have hurt my back. And that's when I realized that I need to change to SDH handles. Yes. Also, after you're working on your shoulders between sets, you're tired. You know, you're out of breath. And the last thing you want to do is tighten collars. And that's what's great about having your own SDH handles. Is between sets, you can breathe. You're not doing anything else but catching your breath and recuperating after the set. And that's great. I don't have to tighten collars on plates that wobble. I don't have plates wobbling around making a clang, clang, clang noise, you know, when I work out, which is great. But the negative side of an SDH handle is when you're curling weight, because when you have it tight and you go down, especially with a heavier dumbbell like a 45 or a 50. I'm not knocking anyone who's curling 40 pounds out there, but when you're doing a heavier weight like 45 and you go down, the plates, if you have pinch collars, the weights have room to roll when you go down, and they clang and they roll. But when you go down with a 45-pound dumbbell and it's on an SDH handle that's tight, the whole dumbbell wants to roll. So what you've got is a dumbbell rolling in your hand. So be aware, people, when you use an SDH handle for the first time curling, you know, the whole handle will turn within your hand. So you got to really fight hard and really grip hard to make sure that it doesn't roll out of your hand. Yeah. So I'd let you know that, just in case, okay? So be careful. Always be careful when you're using SDH handles the first time. It's something new, and it's something wonderful, and it's tricky to get used to. But you do over time, you know. Yeah, so, I mean, ask jugglers. I mean, people don't start just juggling like crazy. I mean, it's not as hard as juggling, but it takes some getting used to with SDH handles. So, anyway, I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a good evening.